I'm trying very hard not to say what's up and welcome back from Section 10. But we are back. It is Rollin Jays, your home of the #1 Boston Celtics podcast in the entire world. Your first place, your undefeated, your undisputed world champions. I'm Coley Mick. That's Cousins Diz. That's Buddha. We're produced by Jake Yazzie.
Happy to be back, yo.
I'm always waiting for him to say fuck yeah. And then,
happy to be back, yo.
We are powered by Underdog Fantasy. Go download the Underdog Fantasy app today. Enter promo code Banner19, all one word, for up to $1,000 in bonus cash, because that's what we're coming for. Both the cash and also number 19. And fellas, it looks in the bag. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it looking like it's about to happen, man. Good week 1 from the boys, 4-0, smoking everything. I'm happy, man. I don't know. I was trying to come in here like I was coming in here with a plan preseason, like, yeah, we're gonna have critiques, like, you know what I'm saying, things to talk about and stuff like that. But it's a bunch of winning, a bunch of shooting threes, a bunch of good Joe Mazzulla quotes, man. I'm happy, man. I'm a happy guy.
But are they ruining the league?
Oh, apparently we got to change the rules, right? The rules that have been in place since the beginning of basketball need to be changed 2024.
See, I think they have to change the rules as soon as we started the Rollin Jays podcast. They're undefeated. They're undefeated since we started this podcast, and I don't envision that changing anytime soon. We are going to get to rule changes. We are going to get to all of those individual games. Episode 2, we are back. A lot of feedback from episode 1 from friends, family, social media, all over the place. So thank you to all the listeners. One thing that I heard was like, hey, you guys got to stop blowing the Celtics. What do you want us to say at this point? Like, they just won the championship. They're 4-0. They beat everybody by 30. What do you want us to say?
Seize up, man.
It really is just the facts. Like, we're all New England, Boston fans. So it's like, we've had the best football team in the world. We've had the best baseball team. We've never had like the obvious best basketball team in the world. Even 07-08. Yeah, they won that title. It was their first year together. You didn't get to peacock the whole season. We almost lost to the fucking Hawks. Year 2, we could do that up until KG blew out his knee against the Jazz. It lasted all of about 50 games. We've never had and it's an unbelievable feeling. Like, I've never felt like this in my life. Just being, we're going to roll whoever we play whenever we want to. You know what I mean? Like, they messed around with the Pistons a little bit. They weren't passing the ball around. They were settling for bad shots. And that game was closer than it needed to be. When they're playing their game and fully locked in, no one's going to lock in against the Pistons. I'm sorry, people of Detroit. It's just not what teams are doing right now. They don't care. It's nothing to care about right now. And you see the Pistons on the schedule, and that's how the Celtics handle. Like, they played 5 minutes. They played 5 tough minutes at the end, and that was that. Drew hit his threes. See you later. All right, we walk out of here with a win. We move.
It's facts, man. Running down teams, man. I really don't. Yeah, bro. Running down teams, bro. There's not really much to say, bro. Hitting a lot of threes, bro. JT balling, looking MVP for him. So is JB, and so is Peyton Pritchard. So is Peyton Pritchard, looking like the real MVP out here, man. I'm happy, boy. I can't stress that enough, man. I'm happy with my C's this week.
Opening night against Stiz's Knicks, the Celtics. Tie an NBA record. Don't set it. And Pritchard, he couldn't hit water out of a boat opening night. And he said, I'm getting all my misses out of the way early because I'm not going to miss again moving forward. That's my promise to you. And I respect him for that.
Facts.
I mean, Pritchard at this point is completely establishing himself as in the NBA Finals. He really didn't play. I don't know what the fuck that was, Stiz. He really didn't play that much, in that game 5, right? He hit the buzzer beater and he played garbage time, but he played 10 minutes a game in the finals. He looks like a piece that is irreplaceable for them at this point. I think the other thing you got to talk about in that Knicks game, we shot a bunch of threes. I think we went 29 for 58 if you take out the last 13 misses at the end of the game. But the Celtics only turn it over 3 times in the whole game. If you only give the basketball to the other team 3 times, it's going to be extremely difficult for teams to match up with us and compete with us shot for shot.
It's facts. Playing good basketball, man. Playing really good basketball to start the season, man. I'm happy with it, man. And we can't wait to get Porzingis back because what are we really talking about, bro? We still got Porzingis getting healthy.
We talked about Tatum's ceiling, right? Like in the NBA Finals. I said he didn't hit it in the NBA Finals. And Stiz, you disagreed a little bit. I'll tell you what. That is Jason Tatum's ceiling. The way he played against the Knicks, his efficiency, that's him.
I was wrong. You were right. Definitely. That was what he's been doing these last few games. Even with the Milwaukee game, it was a tougher game, but I wanted to see what it would be like with him. What he would look like without hitting the 3, and he still looked really, really dominant out there, man. Like that's my MVP pick this year for real. He's really doing it.
Tatum's so funny because that Bucks game was so frustrating for him because fuck Tony Brothers. And like every writer pointed it out, they're like, wow, you can see Tatum building towards the tech. It takes a lot to piss off Jason Tatum. It takes even more to piss off Joe Mazzulla, who was ready to walk down Tony Brothers over anything. And for them to be that animated really tells you how shit the officiating was. Luckily, though, it doesn't really matter if we're playing 5-on-5, 8-on-5, because we have Derek White and you don't. It's that simple.
True story, man. Usually, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, games like that, like last year, maybe even 2 years ago, we probably would have lost, bro. Especially with the officiating going on, bro. And especially, like you were right about saying Mazzulla and the way he was reacting, because usually he wants our guys to go through the fire. You know what I'm saying? So if he hit me on the opposite end, it's dope, bro. It was dope. It was dope to see, man. And us still getting the dub was really, 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 really dope for me to see.
Damian Lillard had 18 free throw attempts. Shout out to Tony Brothers on that. I also think the funny thing about Tatum was he didn't even look at Tony Brothers like he was mad. He looked at him like he was disappointed. Like, you know, when your parents like give you that, oh man, I'm disappointed in you. Like, that's even way worse than when he's mad than when they're mad at you.
Yeah, it was just disgusting. And it's early for the refs too. They're not going to improve at all. It's just not what they do. But it is early for them, so we'll cut them absolutely no slack whatsoever. Get your shit together, because that's a superstar. And what still bothers me about Tatum, refs don't treat him like one. They never have. And that's like the final piece to the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet, is the refs giving him calls he didn't even earn. Because you're right, Stiz, the stat line was the lowest for him in terms of points this season. I think he only finished with 15. But there was a stretch, especially early on, where he just said, fuck this, and just kept putting them in the basket. Like, he was just driving, finishing. Brook, like, listen, Milwaukee, they're not high up on my list of concerns for a couple of reasons. Brook Lopez aged tremendously the last 2 years. Like, they shouldn't have lost him for nothing, but when Houston was trying to give him that big contract, I might have just said, okay. Like, I don't know, tying yourself to Brook Lopez in 2025, it was when the playoffs is going to be super helpful. And when I watched Dame and Giannis, those are two dudes who may have never spoken before. They're playing one-on-one. Like, they're on two different teams out there.
Yeah, 100% right. They gotta figure that out, bro. The Dame, not for real. Like, for them, man.
I don't think Dame wants to. I think that's the point. He's been a petulant child, and I know he had other shit off the court shit going on last year. You know what I mean? Like, I can respect that as a man, as a human. I can understand that. It's year 2, man. Like, I get it together. Like, you clearly don't want to be there. He still wants to be in Miami.
Yeah, but they got to get in the gym together. And, like, I'm not saying they are, because they aren't, because I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't look like it from the eye touch for me. Seeing them play us, bro, like, there's a lot of the times they're not even in the game together. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that 2-man game could be really, really vicious. They knew, you know, if they just knew to be like, yo, let's do that. You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
It's like they was getting that. It was like getting that 30+ end of. It was weird. It wasn't like together.
Right.
It was weird.
It's like, it's my turn, your turn. It's weirdly what the whole league used to accuse Jaylen and Tatum of doing, but that's like the actual. Like, that's what it looks like. It never looked like that here, ever. It never once looked like that.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
you would think that they're a match made in heaven, right? The point guard, right? A really oversized four-man who can run the pick and roll. Like, you would think that would make a ton of sense. But I'm sorry. The supporting cast from Milwaukee either, like that. And I know Middleton was out, and that's probably 35 minutes of really good basketball. But like Gary Trent, not going to cut it. Prince, not going to cut it. Andre Jackson, he can't shoot at all, so he's not going to cut it. DeLon Wright, not going to cut it. Like, if you swapped the two superstars on both teams, I still would take whoever has Boston's supporting cast. Like, the supporting cast from Milwaukee, they just don't do anything for me. The Bobby Portis, the Brook Lopez of the world. Those guys are liabilities.
Yeah, it's tough. Brook Lopez was in some tough looks early in the game, but after that, he kind of like went radio silent, but kind of like, fell to the wayside a little bit. Yeah, he kind of faded away in a little bit.
I give Brook all the credit in the world. Like, he saw where the NBA was going for his kind, and he's like, what if I started shooting threes at like a 36% clip and became an elite rim defender, which, not that he was ever a bad defender, but he became like a decoy candidate. The Lakers had Brook Lopez. They said, we're all set, dude. You're old. And he went to the Bucks. I don't know. He deserves a lot of credit, but he's also old. Like, the Bucks built an old, injured team, and they've lost the first round the last 2 years. They're paying 3 coaches. Like, it's not a team I can fear all that much.
We could get into that coaching thing, man. They should have the ghost of Adrian. Doesn't it Adrian Griffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ghost of Adrian Griffin, bruh, is haunting Milwaukee right now, man. It was 30-11 before they got rid of him.
Yeah, and the net rating keeps leaning in his favor versus Doc's too. Like,
that's tough, man.
All they did was step back, Stiz. They didn't change nothing. They just stepped back.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Do we like the goatee? Do we like the goatee for Doc?
On timeout, Doc?
No, like, did you like the goatee? Oh, absolutely.
I didn't even see it. I was about to say, I didn't see it much because every time they cut to him, they had him with his head down literally every time they cut to the man, bro. I didn't even get to I didn't even get to see it, bro.
It was reflecting off the parquet up into the 300s. Now it's Pritchard hit that.
He was remember when he was just an advisor. Like,
why did I tell those people to fire Adrian Griffin and hire me? Why did I do that?
And he has to live in Milwaukee too.
Bruh, that's tough. Yeah, had to move from LA.
Scene. It's a very tough scene, but it's always fun beating Doc.
One of my favorite things.
By far. People forget. The people always ask me, like, he won a championship. Why don't you love Doc Rivers? He quit on the Celtics because he said the Clippers had a brighter future than us. Like, what an asinine thing to say out loud. I don't care what Blake Griffin they drafted, what Chris Paul they were requiring. That's an insane thing to say out loud. Oh, the Clippers have a brighter future than the Boston Celtics. At no point has that been true.
But then that just turned out to be his MO because he just quits on everybody, bruv. It's tough, man. It's tough. Pretty soon he's gonna start saying this is Giannis's fault. This is Dame's fault. You know what I'm saying? So
remember last year he got there, he threw the laundry guy under the bus. He was like, no, not anyone's up to standard here. We're not folding these clothes tight enough, my boy. Love him. I love Doc. Has there been anyone, Buddha, you've seen outside of the Celtics right now who you're like, oh, I actually think that's the second best team in the East? Because obviously we ran through the Knicks. The defense looked worse than even I anticipated. Mikal Bridges, he is never going to hit a 3 again, it looks like. I'm not too afraid of the Knicks right now, right? Like right now I'm watching the Magic and I'm like, all right.
So Orlando is going to be my pick
right there.
Orlando is going to be my pick, and I think that's the easy answer, right? I mean, Paulo Banchero, he looks like a young. I'm not going to say it, but I want to say it. He looks like a young LeBron to me. Like, he's 6'9", he's built, he can play inside and outside. He's definitely not there yet. I also think Franz Wagner gets disrespected in Orlando.
He's nice.
I think he's a stud. So I think Orlando, and then again, I'm not going to give up on the Knicks. Like, they just got together 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I think that once they can figure out, like, hey, what is the rotation going to be? They're going to get Mitchell Robinson back. Like, I love their starting five. But then again, like, it doesn't really matter who the second best team in the East is because we know who the best team in the East is. And that's what it's going to come down to.
In the NBA, in the league.
That's the league. We're looking to history more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a couple national people who don't have a wild agenda after game one be like, I think this is a better 3-point shooting team than the peak Warriors because that team at best was 3 deep with shooters. Like, Sean Livingston was coming in. He could shoot as long as he was 18 feet and in. And he had a shorter guard on him so he could hit that turnaround. Draymond, he'll hit a bunch of threes in bunches, but that's not any. People leave him open intentionally. Steph obviously is better than anyone on the Celtics at shooting. I think it's a hot take, but I think one people will learn to live with.
Don't let Sam Hauser get hot.
8, 9 deep, like no matter what 5 we have out there, unless Kata's out there. Tillman's been shooting them in rhythm. He's not knocking down as many as he's going to, but the fact that he's shooting them when it's in rhythm, he's not forcing anything. We're going to be like 9 deep with shooters. It's one of the more absurd things.
So your top 8 rotation players right now all shooting between 35 and 43%. And if you do the math, 2 threes is better than 3 twos. Like, if you can just shoot above 33%, that's the math. Math works, like JJ Redick once said. Math works. I also like Nick Wright. Like, we got to go back to the rule change thing, right? Like Nick Wright is talking about changing the rules, making a 3-pointer a 4-pointer and a 2-pointer and a 3-pointer. These are not new analytics, guys. It's a 50% increase on 2s to 3s. That was the case when Larry Bird was playing. That was the case when Bob Cousy was playing. It's not new math. Mm-hmm. Joe Mazzulla is just smarter than everybody else, and he did it with a West Virginia University education.
But he did it. Listen, he did it with a Rhode Island upbringing, is what Joe Mazzulla leads with the front. You know what I mean? It's not new math, but there are teams shooting more than ever, which doesn't bother me. Like, my argument here, and I said this to Tyler the other day, trying to fix the league because the bottom looks terrible is such a stupid way to go about it. No matter what era you look back on, bad teams looked awful, no matter if they were hoisting threes or if the 3-point line wasn't even invented yet. So I don't want to hear like, oh, the 86 Memphis Grizzlies, they weren't even a team. They weren't even in Vancouver yet, but that's neither here nor there. Like, whoever was awful, probably the Nets in 1986, they didn't play an enjoyable game of ball just because they were pounding it in the paint and settling for long twos. Like, that didn't make it any more enjoyable to watch. So to be like, oh yeah, the Celtics is cool when they hit shots, but when the Spurs try this, it looks awful. How is that my problem? What are you talking about? Why would you even do that?
Get good. That's the rule of the game. Get good.
It's not even like become as good at shooting. Play defense. Like, I haven't heard a single person say, like, the Knicks game specifically. How many forced threes did you see the Celtics put up, Buddha? I count only the last 13 when they were trying to set the record.
We were trying to snap the record.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Every other shot was wide open because they were a beautiful ball movement and back screens and cuts to the corner
and drop
made
coverage.
People wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Knicks playing horrible defense. And again, you can point to them being freshly made. 3 weeks there. Communication's probably not on the caliber of the defending champions. People let too many teams off the hook for just not even attempting defense. And to go back to the Magic, Jamal Mosley's had that team bought in on the defensive end since day one. I don't want to hear, oh, there's too many threes. Play defense then.
They just rewarded Suggs with a big deal. I mean, he's so much better defensively than he is offensively. The other thing I would say, guys, is like in the NBA, you are only as good defensively as your worst defender on the floor. It's a matchup league. All they have to do is run a pick and roll at the worst defender, and then Jalen Brunson's going to be on that guy. Miles McBride's going to be on that guy. You're only as good as your worst defender. And we're talking about these 3-pointers. It's weird that you bring up 1986, which is regarded as the best Celtics team of all time. Until this season, it's going to be up for grabs. But I'll tell you this. Last season, the Celtics shot 42 threes a game. This season, they're shooting over 50 threes a game. How many threes do you think the 1986 Celtics attempted a game?
Oh, 1.5.
Less than 5.
I was going to say, bro, if I had
Less
to
than
guess,
5.
what? Less than 5? No, for real?
Less than 5.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's just we're talking about a different sport. We're talking about a different sport.
For sure.
Different. What? I gotta go watch the 86. I might watch a championship game, bro, and bore myself. I gotta go check that out, bro, for real. Because I never. What?
It was a different game.
Very different game, bro. Fundamental hoops.
I'm not averse to changing rules when they make sense. I just don't see this as the problem. I very much view the problem as the best team right now is the Boston Celtics, and the media, basketball media in general, is bad. Like, they hate the product. It's the complete opposite of the NFL media, which tells you the worst game you ever saw was an instant classic. Like, the NBA could learn a thing or two from NFL media. They've been telling you for years that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum stink, and now they're the undisputed best team in the league. Of course, the average fan doesn't know what to think. You've been telling them these guys are bad for years.
True. That's lying.
Like,
it's bad marketing.
They hate marketing their stars. Like, they enjoy the Bucks losing right now because they can talk about where Giannis is going to demand to trade to. Talk about the fucking game.
Quick question: What would be the rule switch that Nick is asking for?
Oh boy.
I didn't know what he's asking.
He gave a couple different examples. He talked about taking the 3-point line away, anything in the corners. So, like, you just draw a straight line from the top of the key, and anything behind that's going to be a 3-pointer. They talked about the potential of making it a 4-point shot, and then all 2-point shots are going to count for 3 points. I hate rule changes, though, and I did some research on this today because I wanted to talk about this. The NBA, first off, after the 2001 season, implemented the defensive 3-second call. Can you guys think of a big man from like 99 to 01 who might have impacted the game somewhat that they felt like we have to start changing the rules? Because I know number 34 for the LA Lakers, they changed the rules for him. Wilt Chamberlain, the rumors coming out about this guy are incredible. They said that they had to put in, you have to keep both feet behind the free throw line because he could standing dunk from the free throw line. So they had to implement that rule for Wilt Chamberlain. I hate rule changes. I was pissed when the NFL went to 17 games because now Mahomes is going to have all these freaking records, and I'm going to be sitting there saying, well, if Brady played a 17th game. So I hate the rule change. I think that
Mahomes might not if he keeps going at this rate, but that's a different conversation. It depends. I agree with you. I hate when, like, the NCAA famously banned dunking conveniently when Kareem got to college. Like, I hate a rule change that's like, this one guy is simply too good.
And
like,
that's how good the Boston Celtics are.
This. For sure. But that, to me, I think this is what kind of Mazzulla was talking about when he was saying, let's bring fighting back, which we got that clip and we'll play it in a second. But I think what he's saying is change the rules to whatever you want, dude. Like, we're going to beat you with this, Chinese checkers, tiddlywinks, horseshoes, hand grenades. It doesn't matter.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, check ball up top. That's what Joe Mazzulla's whole mantra is: ball up top. Whatever else you're talking about, I'm not talking about. If it's not basketball or Jesus, I'm not talking about it. That's what we're here to do. I don't see you with the white collar on, sir. So if you're not the priest, if this isn't confessional, ball up top. Let's go. That's Joe Mazzulla ball.
Raise the Warriors, man. Let's go, Joe. Let's go.
Are we comfortable with the Celtics roster right now if they do implement fighting? Like, outside of Xavier Tillman.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who I'm not Kada.
I think this
adds Pritchard, bro.
This adds 15 years to Al Horford's career.
Pritchard. I was going to say Alan Payton Pritchard, baby. Alan Payton Pritchard, get the job done.
We do have the 15th roster spot. So I think, they didn't sign Lonnie Walker, which I think was a little bit disappointing, and I do have a thought on that. But they have the open roster spot. Is Marcus Morris still available? Because I wouldn't want to run into that dude. I'm going to come back with some names during episode 3 where we're going to have to go out and sign some guys if they're going to implement fighting.
I don't know. I think now it makes a lot of sense. If Mazzulla knew this is the rule change he was going to bring forth, he probably told Lonnie Walker to square up, and he didn't like what he saw there. He said, listen, might be his spot, bro. Style. Yeah. Like the Joker, he just breaks a pool cue, throws it down, Baylor Shireman and Lonnie Walker. He's like, whoever wants to be on the team, I'll see you at practice tomorrow.
This Hauser injury has MMA written all over it. I mean, it's a lower back, right? I mean, Mazzulla definitely did something. This didn't just come about. Are you guys nervous about that injury at all?
Not when we're playing like this. Not really. Like, get healthy, bro. Take your time, dog. That's really how I'm feeling about everything right now. Y'all take your
pretty
time.
Much.
Get healthy.
Pretty much.
We're vibing right now, yo.
I got to be honest. I'm a little nervous about this. We're not talking about an ankle sprain. We're not talking about, a 6-week recovery. I mean, this is a back injury. We just signed him to a 4-year contract. True. He's going to be here. Now, I think he's a movable piece, and I love Sam Hauser. I mean, again, he was incredible in the NBA Finals. He has the pedigree now. He's a proven winner. He went to the University of Virginia. He's a better defender than he gets credit for, I think. And I think offenses get out of rhythm when they just attack him over and over again. But I don't know, something about back injuries. I get nervous for his career longevity. Now, him being out the other night, we got to see the first glimpses of Jordan Walsh, which I thought was really interesting.
Right.
I loved it, man. Energy guy, man. I like the spark, bro. I like the spark, and I like that we're giving him these minutes now, man. Build that confidence up, because we're gonna need him in the playoffs, man. We're gonna need everybody. Honestly, we know that, but we're gonna need everybody when it comes playoff time. So just getting these young legs, these energy minutes now, and we got a lot of them. We got a lot of time out there in the fourth quarter for him. So go get it, young fella.
I mean, Mazzulla subbed in Jordan Walsh the first quarter against the Bucks. Like, I love that he's getting this trial by combat. Like, yeah, go out there, put your feet on the fire. Because even when the shot's not falling, people don't want to deal with him on the defensive end. Like, he has like Shane Battier on the Heat written all over him for like the type of role he could one day fill. Just like, hey, you're gonna go annoy the shit out of one of their best wing players, and then if you could hit a couple threes, that'd be sick. If not, we'll at least take that part of it. Like Jordan Walsh, the energy he brings, that's what's gonna help inspire the other guys too, who are on me and on all of our times, just being like, yeah, can we get to the playoffs here? That's not how Jordan Walsh is looking at this. He's like, this is my career. This is my active tryout. This is how I get larger than just my name set at the ring ceremony. I need a nice crowd pop because I had my Leon Poe moment.
I love it, man. I love the energy, man.
There's also a difference between being the JV player, getting the last 2 minutes of the varsity game, and the place goes crazy. Like, that's not what Jordan Walsh has been doing. They're throwing him into the fire in the first and second quarter. He's defending, Giannis, right? They're giving him the experience that he needs, and it might be one every 4 games. They might give Baylor Shireman a look, right? I thought if Lonnie Walker was on the team, he would get an opportunity. And people can laugh. I mean, Stiz just said they're going to need him in the playoffs. And they can say, absolutely not. Jordan Walsh isn't cracking the rotation. But O'Shea Brissett made a big impact in the Indiana series. He played legit minutes.
Man. Energy,
he was an energy
man. Energy's energy, man. You always need that in the playoffs.
And we're talking about him getting time right now because a guy is out. Whether or not it's a severe injury or not, you never know what's going to happen. We didn't know Kristaps was going to break the third game of the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, you need plan A, B, C, and D. And that's I think the main reason I don't worry is because of Mazzulla. Like, he's Belichick status already in terms of how I know he prepares.
Nobody loves being a Boston Celtic in the organization more than Joe Mazzulla. I mean, he sets the tone for the organization. Like,
that is a fact.
And I want to talk about banner night because I think there are some things that we need to talk about. First off, him kissing the floor. I mean, that was so he wasn't doing that for the cameras. He was doing that because he was genuinely like, I'm a champion. I'm a Boston Celtic. Like, bleed green, banner 18. We're going to get 19. Like, that just that was a goosebump moment for me. The other thing that pissed me off, and I tweeted about it immediately, but TNT cut away in the middle of the banner going up, and absolutely ridiculous. You have all year to plan this. And that's the kind of coverage that you get from TNT. We're in the swan song of Charles Barkley, Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny, and that's the kind of product they're putting out. To their credit, they'll have the same opportunity to do again next year when we're raising banner 19.
They won't. There won't be a TNT next year. That's part of the problem. It was their last shot. That's their last one. Quick question, because I had also tweeted something because there was a concert going on while this was happening. Stiz, were you at this concert? Were you at the Shabuzi?
No.
Okay. Someone had tweeted me that you were at it after I had said anyone who's at this concert, instead of at least watching on TV, should be removed from the city limits. And people said, well, you better tell your co-host that. And I knew Buddha wasn't there. So I was like, is Stiz here? So I'm glad. Listen, people are already trying to tear us apart. They know how powerful we are.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't there, brother. Shout out Shabuzi, though, but I was not there.
For sure. Listen, I've got no problem with the man. I've got no problem with any of that. Listen, it's Celtics basketball. Like, I can't remember the time, even in 08 when the Celtics won, they weren't on top of the city. The Patriots had just gone undefeated. The Red Sox had just won the World Series. Like, they were still very much third. Right now, the Patriots stink. The Red Sox stink. If you watch the Bruins, you're not watching the Celtics anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, the Celtics are genuinely on top right now, and I already see it in terms of like local coverage trying to be like, so basketball, what is, like, they don't know. They haven't been talking about the Celtics for 10 years, so they have no idea what to do with this right now. It's very amusing for me.
Breaking news from Coley Mick: the Patriots stink.
Stink.
We beat the Jets, though. Shout out
Jets
that.
stink.
You know,
Jets stink worse. It's unbelievable. But
I did want to bring this up. I don't know if you guys saw this. First off, when you have a ring ceremony, put the goddamn ring in a box and hand the box to the player for them to put the ring on. Adam Silver was handing out the rings, like putting it in their hands like this. It was so awkward and weird. And one of the owners, I think it was Rich Gotham, goes up, our team president or whatever. He goes up and Adam Silver like tried to put it, like he was like putting the ring on his, like it was a wedding band. Like, dude, what are we doing? I know we haven't won a championship in 16 years, but Adam, you do this every year.
Every year. Yeah, that was wild. I didn't notice that but then my wife was like, where are the boxes? I feel like I've seen boxes every other year. I don't know why we went boxless. We'll get it right next year.
And still,
for sure. Yeah,
when the Celtics win the championship in 2028, you're doing the pregame. It's gonna be your concert outside. And guess what? Me and Coley, Jake, Mike, everyone involved in the Rollin Jays podcast is gonna be there.
Let's run it up. Yeah, easy money. Let's run that up.
Really, we talked a little bit of Ray Allen last week, but it was really cool seeing the big three reunited. Just seemed like genuine happiness, and
that made me happy, bro. Especially after what we was talking about last week, that made me really happy. No joke.
Yeah, anytime Ray's there, it feels correct. Like it was kind of strife that we needed to get through as a unit, and I'm glad we did that.
The Celtics have lost some legends over the past couple of years too. I mean, Tommy Heinsohn, the voice of the Celtics, the voice of my childhood. Obviously, Bill Russell over the past couple of years. Really cool to see Bob Cousy out there as well. I know, I think the last time he played was 1964. But the Celtics organization,
Horford's rookie year,
it was just cool. Like I thought the ceremony was pretty well done. I thought the order was interesting too. I mean, Jaylen Brown is the Finals MVP, and yet he gets introduced before Jason Tatum. I know I'm kind of feeding into the mainstream media right now and trying to break them up, but I just think that the order was interesting. The MVP didn't get to go last. I wonder if it was vice versa. I think Tatum goes last regardless.
I was gonna say, I feel like Tatum. I felt like it was fitting.
JT's team.
Yeah, I feel like Tatum's supposed to go last.
It's the same. Like, they didn't change introductions for the games. It's still Tatum last. Like, I don't think Jaylen and Jason give a single shit about any of that.
Yeah.
Any of it.
Especially at this point, over with.
Yeah, like they've been through so much. Like I saw people this summer when all the Olympic stuff was happening, even before Steve Kerr was benching Tatum, when people were like, oh, they're trying to drive a wedge through them. That's been since day one. They've been trying to drive a wedge through them. They've never gone for it. I don't think Jaylen has any ego about that. I think Tatum has always been that guy at every stage of his basketball life, going back to high school, college, always. So I think with him, he expects it, and I don't think he's wrong for that. Like, I don't think that's a bad quality to have. I think that's why he's as good as he is.
JT, man, JB, bro. Ain't nothing breaking the boys up at this point, bro. They're locked. They're locked to at least 2028, baby, when we got to sell the whole team. pretty much.
There was interesting news today. The Post had it that Pags is really making a push to buy the team, which is unbelievable. If it could stay in-house, if everyone who's already there just gives Wick, like buys him out, essentially is kind of what it is, and we can just keep it moving like that, to me is the best plan. If it can be pulled off, comfortably the best plan.
Continuity is important. Like continuity is important in the NBA. And I think the number one option is let's just filibuster this until Irv passes away and Wick's like, all right, I got my check and I'm good to go. I think that's option number one. Option number two, I think, is Pags. I think, again, he's been there throughout, this whole run. He was a part of the ownership group that hired Red Auerbach to be the team president. And I think when you look at the organizational structure right now with Brad Stevens up in the office and Joe Mazzulla on the court, let's keep why do we have to change anything? Keep shooting threes.
Keep people understand what's going on, man. Mm-hmm.
Keep doing everything you're doing.
Literally.
That's why I think it is, because I don't think Wick's staying. I think he would just stay. Now, I also, people when he first announced it said he would have sold by now too. So it is kind of interesting that he hasn't. He may be trying to wait it out. Either way,
kick this down the can. Keep kicking this can down the road.
Yeah. He's loving it, man. You saw him in the garden. You saw him in the comments. Vibing, bro. It's a good time right now. A good time.
Right. Like to your point, he's waited all this time for exactly this, and now he's being told he's got to get rid of it.
He's like, no, not yet.
Yeah, when the Jays are done, I'll sell for whatever.
Exactly. 10 more years
right now. Crazy. But we did. You talked about Mazzulla when he got down to kiss the court. I didn't know what he was like. He could have done 100 push-ups. He could have done anything in that moment.
He started meditating. He could have been whatever.
Anything. Because he also had the surgery in the offseason. He's talked so much about it on the knee. So was he going to start breakdancing? Like he could have done anything in that moment.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I was just like, this could be anything. Him kissing the court was very, very cool. It means something to him. All of this means something to him. And that's why when he said, and we're going to play the clip, when he said, let's bring back fighting, he's dead serious. He would love that.
Oh, yeah. That'd be his favorite thing in the world, bro. If he could just show up on the court with a gi, you know how happy Mazzulla would be, right?
I mean, I think he's bored at this point of trying to game plan for just regular basketball because he's going to win by 25 every night. So he needs a new challenge. And if he's got to come up with MMA or WWE or whatever kind of fighting mechanisms he needs, again, we got to sign that 15th man. But Joe would be the guy. Another rule change he talked about. He said the NBA is the only team sport right now that doesn't include some sort of power play. I think if there was a delay a game or a technical foul and you had to play one possession 5-on-4, I think that would be a really interesting wrinkle. Again, I'm not for rule changes, but he brought it up on Zolak and Bertrand today. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Jake, hit the clip, Jake, so people can hear what Coach Mazzulla had to say about rule changes.
So, yeah, Buddha just talked about it a little bit. This is more so his thoughts on fighting just in life in general.
Oh, so gotcha. Okay. I thought it was the whole clip. My bad.
We'll run that right now.
I got one for you. This is one
great.
I always bring up. What if so in Abu Dhabi, I was talking to their chairman, great guy, unbelievable. And he was saying how jiu-jitsu is the national sport. Over 800,000 people in the country do jiu-jitsu.
So you're gonna move there now? Is that what you're telling us? You're going there?
It took a lot for me to get back on the plane after that. But what if we all walked around with 5 coins, right? And at any point in time, you can just hand one out and you just challenge the guy to combat.
What? Like man on the street? You can do that to anybody on the street?
When does the combat stop?
Anyone on the street, everyone's got 5.
Fight to death.
I know.
You can't use any weapons. But these are the type of things that I think about. I think the world would be a better place if everyone walked down the street and knew that everyone had 5 coins
You're right.
and they could be used at any time.
That's right.
You like, and if you do pull a coin on a guy and he beats you up, like that's your fault. Like you either gotta train harder or pick and choose your coins better. But you get 5 a year.
5 a year. Joe Mazzulla's utopia is a real violent place. Yeah. You know?
I actually think it would breed less violence over the. Speaking of rule changes,
Can you imagine January 1st? You get a knock at your door. Someone's just been waiting for like they burned all their 2023 coins too early, and they just really don't like you. January 1, you get a knock at your door. Someone hands you 5 coins. He's like, I'm waiting. I know I only need 1 to fight you, but I'm fighting you 5 times today.
Yeah. No, that's funny as hell.
I texted in the group message. I texted in the group message, like the Little Caesars Arena, like what a terrible name for a stadium.
Sure.
It used to be the Palace of Auburn Hills, and it came up like you had such a great nickname for the greatest fight in NBA history, like the Malice in the Palace. Yeah. Like if there was a fight in Detroit now at the Little Caesars Arena, like how the fuck are you going to come up with a good nickname for that?
Yeah. I'm gonna think of something. I'm trying.
Well, what's their whole thing? It's hot and ready to go.
Yeah,
it would have to be something like that. The $5 hot and ready.
I need to know the rules on this coin thing. Hold on, we moved on from the coins a little too fast.
I was going right back to it.
Yeah, I need to know the rules on the coin, so you could just give them to. Do they? I gotta ask Zula himself, bro. I gotta ask Coach Zula himself. Do you just give them a coin and the fight commences, or do they have to give you a coin back?
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? What if you have a coin and they don't have any more coins? What is there jail time involved in this? I need to ask, there's mad questions I gotta ask Zoo about this.
Well, I think we're gonna talk it out, because I do think only you challenging need to have the coin. But if the other guy wins, he now gets your coin. Like, so everyone starts off with 5, but if you're really just out here beating ass, you got coins for days. You know what I mean?
100 gold balloons.
Yeah, they don't roll over year to year. Like maybe you can trade them in for something like money or something at the end of the year. You can't roll over like, man, I was whooping some ass and in 23, 24, I'm starting off with 305 coins. Like, no, you can't do that.
You know, Mazzulla would have like a little bag and he would just be like holding it up, like clinking the coins together.
That Crown Royal sack. He's just got all his coins in that. I don't know. Like what do you think the best? Because if you use all your coins, you could tell people, like it would be human chess at that point. It's like, typically you talk shit. You're being real quiet. You're out of coins, aren't you?
You're like, yo, like, listen, man, I'm out of coins, man. So you already know how I get down. All right, just leave me be. You know what I'm saying? Leave me be, bro. Let me do my little shopping here in Walmart.
I mean, if they're coming after someone on the Rollin Jays podcast, they're not going to go after the biggest rapper to come from Boston, and they're not going to go from the biggest guy to come from Boston. So they're going to come after me and come get my coins. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Jake's getting his ass whooped. No, it'd be. I'm all in on.
Hell nah.
Nah.
Hey, something.
If you want some coins, hold on. If you want some coins, those of you at home, I would go to the Underdog Fantasy app. I would enter promo code Banner19 because that's the real prize at the end of the day. And I would get up to $1,000 in bonus cash with my first deposit. Right now, just looking at the Celtics, I know it didn't go well against the Bucks. Tatum's first quarters have been cashing. That's been a green so far. So if you don't want to wait the whole game, if you're just not patient, that's what I'd be looking at. Because if Tatum hits 2 of these threes, that's easy. That's easy and done for the night. So that's from me. But what were you saying, Buddha?
That was slick though, Coley. I like that. That was slick. Slick promo. It was nice.
Not my first day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know people think I just like stumble out of bed and just start talking to talk. People are consistently shocked. It's like, man, it's like this guy gets paid for this or something. Like it's crazy.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if people know this. Episode 1, Coley walked in, dapped everybody up, sat on the couch, picked up the microphone. Jake was like, 3, 2, 1, we're live. It was like
on. It was on. It was crazy. The switch was on.
I mean, we have a vet. Me and Stiz know we have a vet, and there was definitely 2 rookies. I mean, we had technical difficulties tonight. You guys are waiting 45 minutes for me. We definitely have some rookies on the set.
It's all right, Rook. We good. Win it together.
And we still win. It's just like these Celtics games. Like they've gotten into, I wouldn't ever even call it trouble, but they've hit some lulls. I mean, game 1, they came out so sharp, which I didn't expect. Banner, like Tatum's crying, people on the court are crying, and they came out firing. Tatum hits that first 3 off a little curl, bang, and that was it. They were just off to the races from there. Against the Pistons, I think they were playing a little bit too much ISO ball. They weren't moving the ball as well until they needed to late. What I've been really impressed about, Jaylen's had some tough shooting nights, and he's still making a tremendous impact on the game in multiple facets, whether he's cleaning the glass, whether he's D'ing up. It seems like he's set a personal goal. I'm getting somebody in the backcourt every game now. Like, fuck your feelings. I'm just going to strip someone in the backcourt. I'm doing that 82 times minimum this year. So I really appreciate that. But in years past, it really was, and I mean, years past, not like 2 years ago, if Jaylen's shot wasn't falling, it wasn't the most impact. He wasn't rebounding like he does now. He definitely wasn't getting assists like he does now. He's added so much to his game, and I don't feel like people have taken a moment to appreciate how rare it is for guys of his profile to put it together and become a complete player like this. The super athletic wing who can't really shoot yet in college, this, that, and the third. Maybe he's going to be a plus defender, maybe not. Those guys fail all the time. And Jaylen is an undisputed top 15, top 10 guy right now with a full bag on both sides of the ball. Unbelievable transition from year 1 to year 8.
The man's smart, man. He knew what to work on every year, honestly, and he actually committed himself and applied himself to do it, and you could see it. And I feel like another thing that both him and JT decided to do this year is stop settling. They're not settling as much as they were last year. And I hope that continues. But it seems like they've like made a decision to like, yo, we're taking these boys into the paint. Like we're stronger than them, but we're bigger than them most of the time, bro. Like if our shots aren't falling, we could still get to the paint and make something happen. And I've seen that a lot from JB.
Jaylen Brown's the second player in Celtic history to log at least 23 points and 6 rebounds in the first 4 games to start a season, joining number 33, Larry Bird. Not only is Jaylen averaging 26 and 8, but he's doing it on the best team in basketball. And you know, he's gotten his credit diminished throughout the course of his career because of the team that he's been playing on. But look at what he's doing on such a good team. Do you know how hard it is to average 26 when you have Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Al Horford? I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
You have to be really like I said before, you got to be smart. Like he plays so smart, man. Like he plays really smart basketball. Like you can't waste shots with those guys with that type of talent on the floor, and he finds a way to do it. He just finds ways. Him and Derek White just find ways to get it done.
Stiz, you bring up Derek White and Coley. I mean, you've been all over the Derek White thing. I saw a stat today. Derek White through 4 games, 9.5 assists to 1 turnover. I mean, that is the craziest ratio I've ever heard. And I know he's playing with great players, just like Jaylen, but it doesn't matter. The guy doesn't turn it over. He makes the right play. He makes the open 3. He doesn't force it, and he's elite defensively. I mean, he blocks everything at the rim.
Yeah, he's just smart, man. There's a lot of smart guys on the Celtics staff. Like honestly, bro, from the players to the coaching staff, like yo, it's really dope to see, man. We don't play like our basketball at all.
No, heavens at all. They have a tremendous amount of buy-in and lack of ego that you don't see often in the NBA. Like everyone knows their role and they love their role. They're like, this is awesome. Thank you. Even coming from Milwaukee before game 1 last year, I remember people being like, well, Drew's played in better offenses than this. And at that point, it was only true because they had played 0 games yet. The second they stepped on the court together, it was like, oh yeah, that's super false. He is shooting less shots than he was in Milwaukee, and he's doing more with them. It's insane for veterans who had never played here before. Derek White, who we saw when Ime was still the coach, get brought in mid-season. He looks like a completely different player from 2.5 years ago. And like he couldn't have, if they tell him to do something, he's like, no problem. I've got it mastered today. Like I don't think there's been a better NBA trade in like the last decade than the Derek White trade. I'm not even talking just the value, just the player fit into where he went. What trade's better than that?
Man, I got to give all my hats off to Derek White for that, man, because and the team too for just instilling that confidence in him and him accepting it. Because that took a lot, man. Like you said, he just looks like a completely different guy than he was over in the Spurs, man. And it's true, bro. That's just not the same player at all.
I think Derek White,
crazy.
We're going to look back at his career and there's going to be highlights of his first and second year in Boston. And you're going to be like, I totally forgot he had hair. Like, when I think of Derek White now, he looks just like me. Like, well, he looks a lot better than me. But like, I saw the buzzer beater at the end of Game 6 against Miami. I totally forgot he had hair.
Yeah. No, I don't even think about it. That's too many people who are losing their hair. They're like, I'm going to look so terrible. I'd forgotten Derek White hair was even a part of his game before because he acclimated to this so well. It's just like, yep, that's Derek White. There he goes.
His hair was never part of his life, not even as a baby, not even as a wee lad.
I texted this, but it's too funny not to say. Whoever tweeted at me and called me Megamind, that is fucking hilarious, dude. Like, that is too good.
Yo, what?
If you haven't seen it, it's like a crappy Disney Pixar movie or whatever. But I think Will Ferrell.
Megamind goes crazy. Yeah, It is Will Ferrell. It's Brad Pitt. It's Tina Fey. Is it Steve Carell? I don't think it's Steve Carell. The cast goes crazy. The movie. Oh, David Cross. David Cross is in that. Movie goes crazy. I love Megamind.
Well,
gotta check out Megamind. I'm not hip.
That was fantastic.
That's shocking. I would have thought for certain you would have seen Megamind.
I have not seen Megamind. I gotta tap in. I'll tap in. I'll be on it by next episode. We got excited.
I don't think Coley ever thought. I don't think Coley ever thought that he was going to be on a podcast with a dude who had a bigger head than him.
No, it's rare. It's rare. I've long been one of the largest headed humans I've ever come across. It's just part of my day to day. That's what I do hate about the NBA. I'm so used to being the largest person in the room. When I'm around a bunch of NBA players, I'm like, the fuck is this? This is terrible. This is just what everyone else feels all the time.
Yeah, imagine how I feel around NBA guys, bro. For real, bro. I'm like, God damn, y'all get away from me. Y'all too tall, bro. Everybody's too tall.
I remember we interviewed Xavier Rhodes once when we were doing radio in New York, and he came into the room I was sitting. Like, you've been in that room at the first office, Diz. Like, remember that big round table we talked about? Yeah. So I was in the spot, and then we went to commercial, and he was leaving, and I stood up to dap him up, and he was like, "The fuck!" Like I went from seated super low to standing up. He was like, "Where did that come from,
like, bro? What the hell?" Bro, that shit was crazy. I was like, bro, no way, bro. Security.
Okay. It is very funny.
If every single player in the NBA was 6'6", the same height, same weight, same athleticism, and they just had their basketball ability, who would be the best player in the world?
Steph.
Ooh.
Peyton
Steph
Pritchard. Pound for pound, I think Peyton Pritchard's the best player in the world.
No, definitely not. He might weigh more than Trae Young. I think he might.
I'm rolling this 4-game pay. Well, this last 3-game Peyton Pritchard. This last 3 games Peyton Pritchard. I'm rocking with it. I'm rolling.
Pritchard's unbelievable. He really is. Like, Danny Ainge was on the way out. It was his last first-round pick, and he said, "I'm going to do something crazy for y'all." And he's like, "I'm going to get this white boy from Oregon. You're going to love him." And we do. We do. And Pritchard, I think everything does come back to Mazzulla, because Pritchard, he got the extension after demanding a trade over the last 2 years. He gets the extension going into last season. And immediately, I remember I wasn't going to say anything about Peyton Pritchard October, November, because I really wanted to see the progress, see the minutes he was demanding. And he didn't have a great October, November last year, but he did stop hesitating, which he did a lot 2 years ago. He would get the ball in the corner, be open, and be like, should I shoot? I don't know that I'm the guy who's supposed to shoot. Super understandable. You're a young guy on a team with championship aspirations. Very understandable. Mazzulla told him to knock that off. Same thing he told Derek White. Same thing he told Drew Holiday. Same thing he told most guys, but especially guys who came from elsewhere or young guys like Pritchard. He was like, hey, when you're open, I'm never going to get mad at you for taking an open shot, ever. Now, if you start turning them down, you're useless to me. And that's what Pritchard's, to me, has been the biggest leap in his game. He never hesitates anymore, ever.
And he'll never miss a buzzer beater.
No, he has no idea that's an option. No clue. No clue people miss those. It's like, what do you mean? He even hit one that didn't count. Like, it was after the buzzer. He's still hitting them. It's crazy. He's done so well.
I think it's a common theme, like with the whole organization. Like once people get paid, right? With Jaylen and Jason, they both have gotten their max extensions that were like all NBA dependent for them to get that money. Whether it's a Derek White, getting his extension this offseason, whether it's a Sam Hauser, a Peyton Pritchard getting their extensions. Once they got their money, it just feels like the pressure and the stress and maybe it's the championship as well. I mean, when you have a ring on your finger, it's like having superpowers.
I'm sure it helps,
but. It just looks like these guys are completely sure of themselves, and they're really, like you said, it's the hesitation. If you're hesitating in basketball, you're a half second late. You've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at this level.
Yeah, just playing so fluid, so poised, bro. Everybody's making good decisions. No one's playing selfishly at all, bro. No, I don't even think somebody has the ball for more than 3 seconds on offense, man. It's crazy.
It flies around. Mm-hmm. It's as enjoyable as basketball. And that was to go back to the Nick Wright thing about like, should this be banned? The other point he made was a NBA point at large, and it completely contradicted the Celtics point he made, because the point he made was like, Embiid's already out, Paul George is already out, Kawhi's already out. I think Zion missed opening night. And it's like, what? These stars aren't playing for other teams. The last thing you can say about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is that they take days off. That's the absolute last thing you can say about them. They are out there posting every game. JT will take his like one week vacation every season. Fine with it. Like, that's all he ever needs. Whether it's Deuce's birthday, whether it's early March, he's like, I'll sit for this 1 week. Other than that, I'm playing 40 minutes a night. JB lives underwater in the off season, so he doesn't miss any games during the regular season. If your complaint with the NBA is that stars don't play, maybe stop shitting on the two stars who play every game and win every game. Just a thought.
It's a good thought. I'm not mad at it.
The best ability is availability, right? And you have to show up, and you got to be able to play each and every night. I mean, Peyton Pritchard, you guys can shit on him, but he played in all 82 games last year. Like, that's a rare feat. That's something that people don't do anymore. I thought it was hilarious. Nick Nurse was clearly fed up with the Sixers. Like, they were asking him, "Hey, so the plan with Joel?" He's like, "I'm not answering that." Like, they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan because they got a 7'1" guy who doesn't want to play.
They hired Nick Nurse, a guy who has a shorter bench than Tibbs and will run his guys into dirt for Joel Embiid. Like, that was never going to work. That was an insane marriage in the first place.
How many games is he projected to play this year? What is he taking, like 15 off top?
He's playing no back-to-backs, and it sounds like that. So he's already out of contention for any awards.
Yeah, he's already out. So, like,
I'm taking the over on 12 and a half, but no higher.
Okay.
Like, I was about to say, the max he can play is probably like, even with he'd probably play like 50 games this year, something like that.
Right.
Which is crazy, bro. Like, with a new team, bro, they're talking about championship aspirations over there. It's tough, man. Tough, man. Sorry, Sixers fans, bro. Yeah, sorry, Sixers fans, for real. That sucks, man.
Fuck the Sixers.
And they just gave him another extension, too. I don't know what the rush was to pay him again. Like, they just did that last month. I was like, for what?
He twisted their arm. He was like, yo, listen, either this or I'm out. For real.
I'd be like, where do you want to go, pal? We'll get you on the next flight.
We would have picked him up and it would have been over with. You know how we got.
That'd be funny.
We're talking. We're talking about centers in the East. Stiz, we got to check in on your boy. We got to check in because it wasn't a good opening night for him, I thought. Offensively, he was fine, and I think he brings a different element to them. But, I mean, defensively, I mean, Boston looked at him and said, we're going after you. Have you talked to Carl?
Of course I've talked to Carl, but I think honestly, bro, I think a lot of that shit had to do with, well, one, obviously we were shooting how we were shooting. And two, like it comes to a lot of coaching. Like they were playing a lot of drop coverage. There wasn't much you could do in those situations, bro. The drop coverage against our offense is you're getting cooked. You're gonna get cooked, man.
You would think Thibodeau would have made more
quickly,
more adjustments. And I get it. It's like night one, right? You kind of just want to show up, play.
I would think so too. Like, yeah, man. Like, it's a new team, bro. Like for them, that's the only thing I look at. I'm just like, bro, they're so new. I just know how like, bro, like him getting to the team, like he legit, he got to that team like legit maybe 2 days before training camp started. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's tough, bro. Like they had no time with each other, no time. Well, not training camp. What's that little week before preseason? That was training camp. That's training camp now.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. They had a week together. You know what I'm saying? So like, bro, like they got to figure each other out over there, man. And it's tough when you're going against the defending champs. Game one, and they decide to shoot historically well.
We also, to be fair to this year's Knicks team, we lit the Knicks on fire last year around this time too. Early November, we had pretty much the same exact game against them. I was obviously before the OG trade, but last I checked, he played in this game. It didn't go well for him either.
I thought OG looked like he's been lifting like too much. Like he looks like he should be like an edge rusher for the Pats at this point. Like he looked too big for me.
He is massive. He's a monster. He is massive. And then Bridges, like those, I think the problem with the Knicks, obviously Brunson Cat is going to be devastating offensively in pick and roll once they click. It's always going to be shaky at best. And I'm talking against the rest of the league, not us. But the Knicks got OG and Bridges because they were like, all right, well, at least you two can shut down Jaylen and Tatum. And that's never been true of either of them. We've put both of them out multiple times. They've never been worried about those two. That was the mistake.
We're the best team, bro. Like, we're the best team, bro. It's like,
you're not wrong,
bro. Like we did the same thing last year and won the ship. We came in opening night. They got a newer team. We're the same exact team, just with more experience, bro. Like that was going to be what it was.
Can you imagine the Knicks gave up 4 first-round picks for Bridges? I mean, we didn't give up a first-round pick for Porzingis. In fact, we got a first-round pick in that trade. I think we gave up 1 for Drew Holiday, and then we gave up 1 for Derek White. I mean, think about it. If Brad Stevens had 4 first-round picks to fuck around with, imagine what he would be bringing in.
4?
Yeah.
Bro, you always be breaking news to me, Buddha. 4 is crazy. 4 is a lot, bro.
They looked at it like we didn't make the Donovan. Like they had already spent those picks in their mind. They thought they were getting Donovan Mitchell the year before for those picks. And when Danny Ainge just told them to go fuck themselves, they were like, well, we got 4 first-round picks. And then OG cost none. So they were like, we still have these picks. We're dying to trade anyone.
We don't need any future.
Yeah, we do not want can someone please take these picks from us? And the Nets were like, I suppose we will.
That's crazy, man.
Speaking of picks,
I
thought it was, I honestly kind of forgot this guy existed, but it was like so random seeing Marvin Bagley pop up on my screen and thinking about he was drafted over Luka Doncic. Like that is the epitome of the Sacramento Kings.
Who do we grab over? We grabbed Kelly Olynyk over Giannis, right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
All right, I was going to say.
That was, I mean, we traded up for Kelly Olynyk too, which was tough.
Players make mistakes, man. Players fuck up sometimes,
for sure.
Bro. It's all good.
Yeah, Bagley, I don't know. Bagley always seems to play decent against us. I won't even say well, but he's had moments against us and he just is not good against anyone else. So I never understand players like that.
I also thought the kid Alex Sarr, He looked lost out there. I'm sorry. He has no business playing in the NBA at this point. Too early. Like we talked about, Jaylen from year 1 to year 8, the development. But man, does Alex Sarr have a long way to go. I thought Luke Cornett was getting the better of him.
No, definitely. But he's 19, and against the best team in the league. Like that's where it was. JT did some very not nice things to him throughout the course of that.
It was just his welcome to the NBA moment, bro.
Right?
Yeah, like that was tough. It was just gonna be tough for him that night, man.
I was.
But he said, didn't he say he was asking for that matchup though? Which one of those young guys over there said that they were asking for the JT matchup?
It's like Keontae George, maybe.
Maybe. I don't remember. I thought it was him. But
can you come up with a better combo of players than Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma? If you're looking to tank, like two guys who are going to probably drop 20 to 25, but you're going to lose by 30, like I cannot come up with a better combo of players. If you're looking to get a high draft pick this year, like, man, those two, they should call Josh Smith and see if he's in. He can shoot him out of a couple games.
Oh, whoa. Josh down 3-1 to Doc Rivers, and then won that series himself. Won those next 3, no problem. Josh Smith, those two. I love Josh Smith.
Jay Smooth.
Listen, Jordan Poole was lighting our shit on.
I was about
fire.
to say, I thought the pool party was open for a little bit, man. It was actually getting me mad. Y'all saw me y'all saw me text. I was getting teed up, like, bro, not this again, bro. Because teams like Detroit find a way. They used to. That's old news. They used to find a way to beat us, bro. And games like that used to piss me off the most, man. So for us to get that dub meant a lot to me.
Don't
honestly,
you think too? Like, instead of teams beating us, like at a certain point, we started to beat ourselves. Like, now we're making
definitely.
Yeah.
That's where I think the biggest development from their connectivity's been is they don't fall into ISO ball, hero ball when the game's tight. Like that, Jaylen against Detroit when they were down 6, I think there was like 4 or 5 minutes left. He gets a rebound and he knows he's got a free run to the rim. He gets by guy on the left wing, goes behind his back with a slick move. And then as he's driving, he just turns and drops it off to Drew for that first 3. That doesn't happen in years past. He tries to just go all the way to the rim and get fouled. And that's most basketball players. It's not a critique. But the fact now that they're just like, I trust anyone who's open to score here and do the correct thing. That was like really the last thing they had to unlock. And I don't know how anyone's going to have an answer for them at any point.
You can't, man. We're gonna have to we kind of have to beat ourselves, man. You kind of have to. That's the only way you can beat us is like outsmarting Joe Mazzulla, bro. Like you have to, you literally have to outsmart Joe Mazzulla to beat this team, bro. Like that's the only way, man.
Again, I'll emphasize,
that's not happening.
A lot of the feedback that we've gotten is you guys got to start to talk about, maybe some negatives with the Celtics. It's like, please give me some content because I don't know where to go. Like, I have no idea what to say.
That's what I told you. When I got on, I was like, bro, like this is gonna be tough because it's like you're supposed to come in with critiques and stuff, and we're doing well, bro. We're hooping, man. Maybe next week, y'all. We got y'all next week.
I don't even like this is the murderer's row we've got coming up over the next 4 games between now and next recording. We've got the Pacers, who I believe are 1-3. Obviously, it was a tight 4-game sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're like Tyrese Halliburton, your boy Buddha, put up a 0, a goose egg the other night. I'm sure you love that.
You got to get it together, man. he's having a tough early stretch. I know he'll figure it out, but like, man, like he's not looking like he's having fun. I don't know what's going on.
We got the Pacers. I believe these are all on the road. I know the Pacers and the Hornets are. We play the Hornets back to back in Charlotte, which I hate this part of the schedule. Twice. At their house, like, all right, sick. This isn't baseball. Clean it up.
Yeah.
And then we play the Hawks, who've been pretty competitive. Reece Shea looks like he has a role already. Okongwu's been a monster early. Trae Young's been a monster. They're just they look competent. The Hawks look fairly competent to start the year. So I got 4-0. What about you, fellas?
I was gonna say, with all that being said, bro, I still take 4-0, maybe 3-1. Mate, bro, like
I can see 3-1.
Let's give them 3-1. Just for everybody out there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying 3-1, and they're gonna split with Charlotte, unfortunately. And then 7 weeks from now, when we're 19-1 or whatever it is, we're saying, who the fuck did we lose to? Oh my god, we lost to Charlotte. Like that. That's the team that'll get you.
If there's someone who knows what Mazzulla's thinking, it's gonna be Charles Lee.
Absolutely,
who was the Hornets head coach, our assistant coach last year. Great young coach. He's got the Hornets looking more confident than the Hornets typically do. It's only been a week, but that's where they're at already. Listen, people forget we had to win a game against the Hornets in March last year just to win the season series with them. We blew a big lead against the Hornets early in the year last year. LaMelo and Miles Bridges went crazy to get them that win. Celtics just really didn't play defense in that game. I remember being quite furious with the effort level in that game, especially after that previous summer. Tatum had that speech at his camp being like, you got to take every game serious. Even if you're in Charlotte on a random Tuesday, you got to show up and play. So I always thought that was very funny. But yeah, the Hornets games, I don't think they're gimmies. I almost look at the other two as easier than having to play the same team twice, another young athletic team that can, at the bare minimum, hoist a lot of threes and maybe win the variance game.
How do you feel about that Pacers game? It's kind of like, now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of sticking out to me a little bit too, just because they really need a win. And Tyrese really needs to figure it out. It's going to be one of those games, I think, for them where they're going to definitely, on an energy level, come out flying.
I'm so down on Indiana.
I hope it.
I'm so down on that. I saw that. I saw that freaking list. I saw Halliburton top 10. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. The other thing that pisses me off, okay, Pascal Siakam's had a nice NBA career, okay? Is he a $200 million player? Paolo Banchero just put up 50 on his ass. Like, I'm sorry. Siakam, his game's not evolving. He's not getting any better. His jumper's not going to improve. It is what it is at this point. If he's your second best player, you're not that good.
I think it's just that the money's getting so high, everybody's $200 million guy. The money's going up so much. And he's a 4, right? It's tough to find a good. It's just that position is kind of tough, man. There's not too many like really elite 4s out here.
Siakam's much better against the rest of the league than he has been historically against us. So it definitely makes him look worse. But I don't know. He's a fine player. If Miles Turner is having a good game, those two being your second and third best players, you can do worse. You know what I mean? You still are the Indiana Pacers of all teams. The fact that they're in this position, they should be thrilled with that. And Nembhard was their fucking best player in the playoffs last year. He was going crazy for 3 weeks.
Siakam,
they got a guy. They paid him.
He has one move, spin move, spin
for
move,
sure,
spin move. He doesn't have any moves.
Spin cycle, baby.
Trust me, we know it. Yeah. We see it coming more than other teams. I agree he's one-dimensional, but he does put up points and buckets. And Paolo, Paolo's a monster.
Can't do much.
He's here. Mm-hmm. He's all the way here. He was number 1 pick. People talk about him like, where did this Paolo guy come from? I understand the year it was, but he's a monster. That's the kind of guy. Him versus Tatum matchups I'm very here for the foreseeable future. That's going to be must-see TV.
I hope too, and that's another one of those teams. No, go ahead, Buddha.
No, all you.
No, I was just going to say that was another one of those. The Magic's another one of those teams that just kind of figure out a way to beat us, bro, and it gets me, bro. Nothing gets me like a Magic game, bro. It gets me, bro. It does.
Well, they're going to meme you to death afterwards. I know that hurts your soul.
It does something to me, bro.
Magic. Orlando Magic.
It does something to me.
That was 2 seasons ago where the Magic just beat the shit out of us every time. And it was like, what's happening here? What is this? Last year, it seemed like Jaylen specifically was like, we're not losing to the Magic this year. I need to know we're over this. And I think they went 3-0 against the Magic last year, if I remember correctly.
Didn't we lose the in-season tournament game to them? I think it was in Orlando, and I think we lost.
Tournament. No, we lost to the Pacers, didn't we?
I tell you 100%, I don't watch our Magic games, bro. Like for real, bro. After they did that to us, bro, I was like, bro, I'm not watching them play the Magic, bro. It does something to me, bro. It does something.
You know what?
We may have lost the ISD game to them, but I every normal game with a real court that wasn't a slip and slide mat, we beat them.
You know what used to piss me off too? And this is just like if your fan base and your stadium is reliant on noisemakers, like I just remember during like the Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashad Lewis, Jameer Nelson, JJ Redick years, every single Magic fan would have the two clappers and they'd be clapping them together during the free throws. You're a shit fan base. I'm sorry. If you're reliant on noisemakers, you're a shit fan base.
The Clappers was hard, bro. I was a fan of the Clappers, bro.
Go down to fucking
Growing
Epcot.
up, just to
spend
see
the
it,
day
just
spend the day down there.
Just seeing it, bro. The Clappers was cool, bro. Playoff time, that was like super cool. No bullshit.
It did seem like playoff time. I don't hate it. You don't need that in the regular season.
Yeah, not in the regular
Game 5.
season. Come on, we don't.
Game 5.
That's crazy.
You need it. But yeah, Buddha, do you have any final thoughts before we clock out for episode 2?
It's a great question. All right, the one thing that I did want to say, because I think this is not a final thought, but DeLon Wright wears number 55. I don't know about you guys. I fucking love when guards and wings wear 51, 52, 53, 54, and 55. Those 4 numbers. I fucking love them. If that's my final take, I'm good with it. Jason Williams.
That Tremont Waters.
Tremont Waters. That's another really good
51.
one. Tremont Waters played with Wemby when Wemby was on that French team.
Yeah.
And you'd just be watching Wemby and be like, Jesus, this is the Tremont Waters that I remember.
Yeah, Tremont Waters, man. That's another.
Tremont Waters would have been in the conversation for pound best player in the world.
Definitely 1,000%. Any number 55 I agree with. 55 is cold. The other 53 on a basketball court is crazy. You can't be wearing 53.
Who's 53? Is that 50? Has there ever been a 53?
I'm gonna come back with somebody. I'm gonna come back with somebody.
Yeah, come back with us, Buddha. Let us know, Buddha.
53.
53 is a crazy number. Yeah,
53 is crazy. Like 54 was Horace Grant, right? He was rocking 54.
Yep. Jason Maxiell wearing 54.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Maxiell wore 54.
Oh, wow. Deep cut. Maxiell.
51, I can only pull Tremont Waters. 50s like Corey Maggette, Eddie House, people like that. I can't think of a 52 or a 53.
All right,
52 is Brad Miller. Brad Miller was 52.
Here's a good one. Here's a final take for you. If you go back, we talked about the 3-point shooting, right? And we're going to dive way deeper into that throughout the course of the season. It is a different sport today. 1979, 1980. The whole league over the course of the whole year made 1,400 threes. That's all 30 NBA teams. The Celtics are on pace for 1,700 three-pointers made this season. They're going to make more threes this year than were made in the whole fucking NBA in 1980.
What was Joe Mazzulla's mind in the 80s for basketball, bro?
He was noticing. He said, that's more points. Interesting.
Right. Shout out Coach Zoo and the boys, man.
Stiz, do you have any final thoughts on your Boston Celtics?
Nah, man. Hopefully we keep winning, but for y'all's sake, we need more critiques. So maybe the boys might lose a game this week. I don't But seize up, man. Banner 19 on the way, man. Payton Pritchard, keep doing your thing, baby. Payton Pritchard, hold on. Payton Pritchard, baby. Keep doing your thing. I don't know what kind of Wheaties you've been eating out of lately, but keep going into that store and buying that box, brother, for real, man. We is rocking with this energy. We is rocking with you, too. Jordan Walsh, you as well, brother. Love the energy. Y'all keep it rolling, man. Coach Zoo, boom, salute, baby. You know what it is, man. JT Pritchard's.
That's facts. Pritchard's out here playing in the park with
I saw that, bro.
Getting his
calling
work
fouls,
in.
calling hand checks.
It was good to see him and Isaiah Thomas working out together like that. That was very, very cool. My final thought, shout out Jaylen Brown, getting that star treatment, being on season 2 of Starting 5 on Netflix. It was JT.
Oh, that's fire, 1. Bro. Congrats, brother. Hell yeah.
Got to look behind the curtain there. I love that there's just going to be so much media surrounding this era of Celtics basketball. Like there were about 9 documentaries. None of them are out yet about last year's team. I'm excited to watch all of those. Buy a new TV, put them on a loop, so I can watch those, and it just pop in the room, see what's going on there. And now we get JB this year. It's like JB, Durant, couple other cats. So I'm very interested to see the Jaylen Brown version of the. Yeah, Halliburton was one of them. That's right. I knew you would know that.
Skipping that episode.
Would have said that so pissed off. Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton.
ESPN, y'all really tripping for that top 10 list, bro. Putting Halliburton AT, bro. I don't know about that one, bro.
Hey, by the way,
know about it.
Somebody just texted me. Vitaly Potapenko wore number 52 for the Boston Celtics. Do you think Tremont Waters was a deep cut? There's a deep cut for you.
Vitaly did go crazy. I do appreciate a Potapenko hit.
I was going to say, I don't even know who that is, bro.
He looked like me out there. Genuinely.
Name hard, though.
He's only 49 now. I would have guessed he was much older than that. Shout out Vitaly.
Shout out Vitaly. Are the Yankees figuring it out? Anybody know?
It's 6-4. Last I saw, Mookie was up. Still 6-4. The hell happened? Oh, he struck out. That was the end of that.
Oh, no sweep.
So that's what bottom 7 this time.
This time, bro. Is Freeman coming back up? Because if it is, bro,
for sure.
Good night.
He leads off next inning.
Good night, bro. Good night.
So yeah, hopefully next time we come back here, the Celtics will still be undefeated and the Yankees will have been long eliminated. So that's what I can wish for us. We'll see everyone next week. This is Rollin Jays.
Peace, gang. Appreciate y'all always, man.
I'm gonna keep this shit to time by, cause they ain't talking about none but a real nigga. Real nigga, I ain't got the time. If you ain't talking about some money to a real nigga, I'm just trying to make a real profit. I ain't turning down for none like a real nigga. I'm just trying to make a real profit. Can you talk about some money to a real nigga? Keep this shit to time by, cause they ain't talking about none but a real nigga. Real nigga, I ain't got the time. You ain't talking about some money to a real nigga. I'm just trying to make a real profit. I ain't turning out for none like a real nigga. I'm just trying to make a real profit. Could we talk about some money? Got this out burning. Ask me how I got it, I'ma tell you that I earned it. Bitches I provided me, you know that it's for certain. Just pull out my iPhone and the pussy get to twerking. Bitch, I be so high, my eyes be closed up like a curtain. I had bullets flying, niggas dying, mama's hurting. I know they was sleeping on me, but the boy was working. Gotta keep the peace up on me, sexy niggas lurking. Sipping on my cup, now I'm some motherfucking cozy boy. Rest in peace to Yams, though I ain't even really know the boy. Coolin' with the wolves and I'm a motherfucking soldier boy. Bitch put me on Zans, I finna bust the pussy open boy. Put on for my hood, now the top is getting lonely boy. Breaking down the arm, finna smoke with all the homies boy. But keep that on the low, I thought I told you boy. He ain't really on, I really know the boy. Real life. Teach shit to hide by, cause they ain't talking about none but a real nigga. Real nigga, I ain't got the time. Cause we ain't talking about some money to a real nigga. I'm just trying to make a real profit. I ain't turning out for none like a real nigga. I'm just trying to make a real profit. But we talk about some money. Feels the coldest corner on the streets. Yeah. Niggas getting popped for petty beef. Yeah. But winter time I'm chillin' on the beach. Yeah. In the latest sandal on my sneaks. Yeah. I got a bright future, baby, you should wanna do me. A couple years to brag to all your friends about how you knew me. Every time I step up, that shit lookin' like a movie. Man, we stunt so hard, them haters getting mad enough to shoot me. But they can't stop the click, we just too ready. My name ringing bells cause they too heavy. can't roll all this weed cause there's too many. This thing turn your insides to spaghetti. My dogs with the shits, y'all niggas bitch. Get locked up and snitch cause you too petty. I pray and I wish that I get rich so I can flip that to new fetid. Purple got me moving like a zombie. If it's about the money, only time that you could call me. Then they didn't want me, now I'm hot and they all on me. But I don't fuck with none of you niggas, Mitt Romney. Real life. Thuggin', we thuggin', my niggas is gunning, they hungry. Since we lost A, man, shit been so crazy. Damn, we thuggin'.